This is the screencast for section 7.1, example 5. Now, we've been using a lot of velocity and stuff, but really integration is great because whenever you want to find the cumulative effect of anything that's changing, you integrate it. So if you want to find the total potato consumption, like in example 5. So from 1970 to 1980, and we're going to call that years 0 to 10, I guess, the rate of potato consumption in a particular country was C of t equals 2.2 plus 1.1 to the t, millions of bushels per year, with t being years since the beginning of 1970, so the beginning of 1970. How many bushels were consumed from the beginning of 1972 to the end of 1973? Now keep in mind that is not just 1 year, because the end of 1973 is really like the beginning of 1994. So we are going to be spanning 2 years here. So the consumption rate is 2.2 plus 1.1 to the t, and that would be millions of bushels per year. And again, we're going from the beginning of 1972 to the end of 1973, which means I want to integrate from year 2 to year 4. The beginning of 1972 to the beginning of 1994. So be careful of that. So I'll do a little integration. The antiderivative of 2.2 is 2.2t. Then the antiderivative of 1.1 to the t is 1.1 to the t over the natural log of your base. And then fundamental theorem part 2, or just do it on your calculator because this one's complicated, and I get 7.066 million bushels were consumed in those 2 years. Then I'll try problem number 21. Says we're going to talk about the total oil consumption. The rate of consumption of the oil in the United States during 1980s in billions of barrels per year is modeled by the function that, where t is the number of years after January 1st in 1980, find the total consumption of oil in the United States from January 1st, 1980, and they're very specific, to January 1st of 1990. So we are looking at a span of 10 years. If we call year 1980 0, we can integrate from 0 to 10. And yeah, I could do this by hand, but we've studied integration in a previous section. Right now, let's just look at what the total consumption was. So I do that in my calculator, and I get 332.965 billions of barrels of oil over the span of those 10 years.